What's some of the best advice?
Best advice is
Figure it out. You'll figure it out.
Best advice is
No, I will say your best advice you've ever given me. And it was my very first week out of college. I was going out to do sales to pay for grad school. He goes, all you need to worry about is how you service your customer. That's all you need to worry about.
Welcome to the Ride and Style Podcast, your turbocharged pit stop for automotive restyling. Buckle up with Jesse and Josh.
Welcome to another episode of the Ride and Style Podcast. This is episode 12, and today we have Henry and Courtney Palki of Top Coverage. Thank you guys for being on the show with us today.
Dad.
We really appreciate it.
oh
Fist bump, Henry.
Fist bump.
Henry's only going to be joining us for a few minutes, so I want to take up every precious, because I think he's like got a timer on his watch. He wants to leave and not talk to me, so we're forcing him to talk to me. Henry,
yes.
Tell me, what year did you start Top Coverage?
1975.
And what was it? Sunroofs from the beginning, or what did you start?
No. We started with, believe it or not, vinyl tops and pinstriping and side moldings at that time.
Can you personally do a simulated convertible top?
Yes. Back then, we did.
I always see pinstripe. You can still pinstripe, you think?
I still do it here today, to this day. I help the guys.
See?
They don't know how to do it.
I love it.
Don't say
They don't know
that.
because nobody asked for it really as much. Yeah, they don't. Not right. They don't know.
Well,
right.
because you could take a stripe and just start at one end and do the whole car with one piece. They take one door at a time and measure everything. Where I've done many of them.
That's not how you stripe.
I know I've done so many. It's a simple process. They don't get it.
I'm going to put you to the test later and have you pinstripe the car.
Okay. I've known.
I do have a question, Josh. I have one.
Yeah, Jesse.
Yeah, Henry, I have a question for Henry. Henry, how did you get started in this business, and more importantly, why? I'd love to know more about the history.
How I got started, one of my friends sold for a company. They were selling vinyl tops to installers. And my friend says, Henry, and I was a mold maker, injection mold maker at that time and going to college at the same time. And then my friend said, hey, you should try this business. We started in my friend's garage, believe it or not. And we did a couple of my friends' cars. We put vinyl tops. I never put a vinyl top on my life. And it turned into a business. And I went to some dealers, and they gave us a chance to let us do some vinyl tops, and that's how it started.
So really, when it comes to Top Coverage, that's what Top Coverage really meant. Yeah,
putting tops on cars, correct.
Wow. Huh.
Nowadays,
and then we got into then we were mobile units at that time. We were actually going to the dealers doing the work with vans. So we would have the vans filled with the stuff, go to the dealers, put the vinyl tops on, stripe their cars, and go to the next dealer, because all the cars we were doing at that time were sold. At that time, we were probably doing 100, 120 vinyl tops a week at $55 a car. A week.
What was
at
it?
$55 a car at
it was
that time.
$55
a car.
Wait, you're saying to put a full vinyl top on a car, it was only $55?
55
with the molding and everything?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's back then. I'm talking about
75.
Yeah, sure.
70.
But you were bringing in $6,000 a week or something like that.
Yeah, the vinyl tops at that time, where you made your money is on when you did half tops. So you took a full top, cut it in half, and you got two cars out of one car at one time.
Double dipping.
A full top would take us about 35 to 40 minutes to do at that time per car.
Wow.
So cool to hear. I'm gonna fix the blind.
That's the truth. That bending the mold.
These are the days before you didn't have to put a shell on or anything like that.
No. Then I opened up a shop, a building. And actually, we were building conversion vans. We were called Academy Conversions.
I didn't know this.
We were building conversion vans for two GMC dealers. from start to
Sure.
finish. Then send them out and have them painted. We did the whole interior. We'd go up to we go to Indiana and get all the seating and everything in the Elkhart, Indiana.
All to Elkhart.
Yeah, well, that's where a lot of the vans were being built, and we were probably doing 2 to 3 vans a week at that time.
I didn't know about the conversion vans.
Yeah, we
That's
did a lot of conversion vans for 2 dealers because the customers would come right to our shop and they could pick out everything right there, and so we did them right.
But when
there.
did you? So you were in college doing this in somebody's garage. When did you decide? Hey, this is a business. And what did you hire him? A couple techs?
Well, actually, I had a partner at that time, this guy Rudy, and then when we started going to the dealer, we started hiring people. So we were doing mobile units. We had it was Rudy and I and 4 other people. We had 2 guys per vehicle going to the dealers. So,
wow.
And then I opened up the building. Then I rented a building, and then we got into doing van conversions. Then the SimCons, then sunroofs. Our first sunroof was in 1982. I'm trying to think of the name of the sunroof at that time. It was a metal roof. It wasn't a glass roof at that time.
metal.
Yeah, it was
that the ones where you had to weld?
No.
And you almost ruined the top of the car, or no?
No, the roof skin, instead of a glass panel, was a metal panel. Okay.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And that's when we got into that roof. And then I ran into Martin Potts. Do you remember Martin Potts?
No.
Martin Potts was the guy that was distributing a Hollandia product in the United States. He was the one in charge of Hollandia in the United States at that time, before Scott Greenhall. You know Scott Greenhall, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Martin was the one that took us on, and at that time that roof looked exactly like a Skytop. Remember the Skytop roofs? Probably not before your time.
Yeah,
Remember just
I do.
Okay, the Hollandia roof was identical looking roof. Skytop, the way I understand it, back through Martin Potts, the guy that built Skytop worked for Hollandia, and then went out and made his own roof. So then, so that's how Skytop and Hollandia roofs at that time looked identical. They had basically a square roof, and that was just a roof that went back and forth. It didn't vent or anything.
They're gonna slap me in the face here.
And then they built the 2-stage roof, the unit where you're familiar with now.
The TVS, tilt vent slide.
Correct, TVS, correct. And so at one time, Martin we were the largest buyer of Webasto or Hollandia at that time. He wanted me to take over Hollandia, but I had to move to Detroit. He wanted me to be the head guy for because we did so many products. We helped them solve all their problems. And then my ex-wife, my wife at that time, she didn't want to move to Detroit. So I passed on the deal with Hollandia. Even what was his name? The owner of Hollandia at that time. I can't think of his name. The owner of Hollandia was.
I probably wasn't even a thought in your mind at that point.
And so is that when they sold to Webasto?
No. Then what they did, Martin went looking for somebody and found Scott Greenhall. Then Scott Greenhall took it over, was running it. And Scott and I we're still real good friends. Scott and I became good friends. And he turned that whole company around where it was the largest sunroof manufacturer in Illinois, United States at that point in time. And I helped him get to that point. I mean, he needed sales to boost up his numbers. He goes, Henry, I'm going to send you 150 roofs. Okay.
Be nice.
Pay me. Then they'll tell me, pay me when you can. Don't worry about it.
Pay me when
You're
you can.
good. Yeah. I mean, I sometimes I 200-300 roofs on my back walls. but we were good. We were doing 50,
So
40, 50 a week at that time.
yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Some of your best years, you were doing about 50 a week. So we're
Yeah,
talking, like
we had
2,500 roofs a year.
I had 5 sunroof installers at one time. I had three Simcon installers and 3 leather people at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
but
was
we're
your first leather car?
a Nissan Maxima. We started the leather business in Chicago. We took that
Uh-huh.
car, and one of my, you don't know this guy Niesel Durst. He had a brother-in-law that worked for Maloney Coach Builders, and this dealer is a friend of mine. He goes, Henry, you think you could put leather in this car? I go, I don't know. Let me find out. Now we had this guy. His name was Jakob Guben. He sold our first leather kit and a Nissan Maxima. And that's how it started.
Wow.
And it was a dealer in Schaumburg that
And
sent it to
was
us.
that would that have been a classic soft trim kit, right?
No, Classic wasn't around at that time. Well, Classic was, but they were not really into manufacturing leather at that time. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Catskin started. But when Caskin showed me their kits, they were shit. I said,
Dad. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Ron.
But
No, they were.
So we had H.G. Holman we got a hold of. He was out of Indiana. H.G. Holman was our supplier for leather. He used to work for Recaro Seats. So he was making a pattern for Recaro Seating. So he started his own leather seating company. And we were buying, our leather hides were coming from Eagle Ottawa Leather. I don't know if you know who that is. And so then,
I remember the name. That's it.
So when we were putting leather in vehicles when we started throughout all the dealers, all of our leather kits were 100% leather. There was no vinyl on any of them. And then Classic opened up. To compete with Classic, we had to make a leather vinyl mix because our leather kits at that time were $700.
What?
At that
That's so
time, yeah.
expensive.
Well, but we were given 100% leather, and we were selling the kits
Yeah.
for $1,500 at that time. We're the only game in town, and we were doing it.
Yeah.
We did a lot of Honda programs, Toyota. Acura programs we did for the state of Illinois and a lot of Chicagoland area and Honda dealers. We had programs we did through the zone.
I'm learning a lot right now. You always tell me to figure everything out for myself, but now I'm learning more in this conversation.
So what's the next question?
Okay, so as we transition into next generation, so what advice have you given Courtney as she takes over the business and moves forward? What's some of the best advice?
Best advice is
figure it out. You'll figure it out.
Best advice is
No, I will say your best advice you've ever given me. And it was my very first week out of college. I was going out to do sales to pay for grad school. And I go, what do I need to know? And he goes, all you need to know at this time, and I put this in everybody that works for our locations. He goes, all you need to worry about is how you service your customer. That's all you need to worry about. The rest will
service the customer.
The rest will fall into place. But how we've been around for so many years, it's because we always take care of our customers. You'll understand soon.
Yeah.
And
the best advice I could say is stay on top of your business. We've had some bad employees throughout the years that really you trust them, but at the same time you got to watch them. The best advice is say good luck and stay on top.
Story of my life right now. Good luck.
Let me ask you a question. What would be the best advice you could give her?
Best advice I would give Courtney, because I know Courtney, is just stay in your lane, do what you do well. Don't look off over here and go down a rabbit hole. Just stay with what you do and keep the ship going in the right direction. Doesn't mean you can't get on a lifeboat every once in a while, drive over to an island, check out what's going on, but go back to the main boat and keep it going in the same direction.
Correct.
I will say though, Restylers United, our Restylers United group has been really helpful for me throughout all
Well,
the
you know, I
transition
never
as
got
well.
involved with a lot of different groups that they wanted me to get involved with.
Well, I heard
And
you had a top
the
100.
reason, yeah, but the reason I didn't, because I, as time went on, I couldn't deal with the lies and bullshit. They don't really tell you
Yeah.
the truth, what's really going on. And okay,
That's why you
which
got to be really picky about who you have. Yeah.
Mhm.
exactly.
So
Jess, any question?
I do have a question, actually.
Any more questions?
Yeah, first of all, do you have other family in the business other than you two? Is this a bigger, extended family? And how did it become a family business? Like, when did that start? When did Courtney get involved, and who else is involved?
When the kids grew up, when the kids grew up, I had no other family in the business.
Great.
It was just me and my ex-wife running
Yeah.
everything, or my wife at that time.
And Courtney, why did you decide to get involved?
well, I graduated from University of Iowa in 06, and I started working for him. He goes, I paid for a lot of your schooling. You have to find a way to pay for your grad school at the time. And it was, yeah, basically I started doing sales. I would hear stories about my dad everywhere I went. That was in 06 summertime. 07 we had a very good year, and then 08 the market crashed, and so I realized, like, I'm not going to let this company slip from our hands. We went from, like, I'll never forget, we were at a CAT skin seminar in California, and we got a phone call saying that every single car canceled.
Speaking to the microphone a little bit clear. There you go.
That better?
Yeah.
So basically, we were right in the middle of a CAT skin, one of their sales trainings, and I was with our GM at the time, and we had just found out, that's when we had every vehicle canceled for both of our shops, like all at once. And so I realized right there I was going to fight the battle. And
Oh wait,
And if you can,
is that when all the dealers closed up?
oh my gosh, yeah,
shut
do you
down.
remember
08,
that?
09,
Horrible.
Yep.
I lost.
If you can survive that, you can survive anything.
I lost
Yeah, it
over
was horrible,
300.
Dad.
I think it was $330,000 at that time.
We had drivers that would be bringing back
we
cars.
had we had all the dealers, and especially we did all the Saturn dealers. They all owed me like $8,000 to $10,000.
Oh, that was horrible.
When they shut them all down, none of them paid us.
Do you remember when Chrysler came up with that list saying, if
All
you're
the
on
de-
this list, you have 3 weeks? And we're
Yeah.
looking at our shop, we're like, we finally got business going, and these are their cars in here. Are they gonna?
I had locked up
Yeah.
cars, and I kept them till the dealers paid. When that all happened, I had to keep cars locked up.
Yeah.
Remember the police
Then
would be
some of them paid me, others did not.
We had the police at times would be closing down a dealership. Everybody, all the staff would be gone. We'd be returning cars. Remember that at that
Remember
Kia
returning
dealership?
cars, and
That
the
was
police says,
horrible.
they let them through the line, and
Took the keys, and Dad goes,
instead of
no.
the driver calling, hey, the police are there, let's take you with the car. I would have said, bring it back,
Put a
but
lien
they
in it.
dropped it off.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my goodness, that's
Dad
crazy.
left.
330 we lost it.
That's when I
And when all they
realized.
shut all the GM and Pontiac and
Yeah, Pontiac,
Saturn dealers, the Oldsmobile
Dodge,
dealers.
Chrysler, Jeep,
Yeah,
Hummer.
we lost money.
That was scary.
Yeah.
And that right there, I was like, oh, you know what? This is more important to keep this company going. I love it. I'm with my family.
Well, we appreciate everything you've done for the industry, Henry. I mean, you've helped with the sunroofs, and you've helped. Now I've learned stuff from Courtney and even Garrett, and they attribute a lot of that to you. So I've implemented a lot of stuff from you, even though you unknowingly, into my business. So we appreciate all that you've done. And,
Well, I could help any
come-
people in the industry, which I've always have. It's important that the industry keeps going. It's been good to all of us. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
no.
that you've been, I would say this too about one thing, if I can give advice, if you're going in between like a first generation, second, and third, the one thing I'll say that he did for my brother and I was let us adapt to what the technology, social media, website, things that he would sit back and let us do. Now, if he felt very firm on something, like, think about it, but I think stepping back and letting us implement, how the market. Remember when I got out of college, only one in every 12 dealerships that even had a website still. So it since then, like escalate. Everything was moving so fast.
Yeah,
Technology.
we brought,
I had to pull over to ask for
We-
directions still at that time.
Yeah,
I think.
we had people come in because we are the first company in the industry that had a computer doing all of our invoicing back then.
That thing.
It was weird. Yeah, the industry changed a lot. It's been good for everybody, but it's a lot of bad people made the industry bad.
Well, bad installs, and that's where the
Not
internet
just
kind of
installs,
ruined it. So
it's a combination of everything. Like
Well, that's why we've
SNS
Not-
mentality. They had the SNS mentality.
Can't
the
say that now.
professionalism of the industry has to constantly be going up, right? Installation, sales, the way we run our businesses. It's the only way, because we don't want to be known as a wild, wild west industry, even though in many ways we still are. So if we can
we're here
help
for the
bring
long term.
about that professionalism.
Yeah, we're here for the long
Yeah.
term, and that's what a lot of these guys
Exactly.
are doing. They're here for the short term, make a quick buck and get out. And that's
So
And
Courtney,
it's
let me ask you about your Wisconsin shop. So what
Anyway,
you know
I'm going to get
what
butter. Goodbye, Josh.
I love you, Dad.
bye
Jay,
Henry.
Question-
Thanks
Jay,
for joining
any more
us.
questions? Anyway, Jay, any more questions?
Thank
Jesse.
you. I really
Jesse.
appreciate you being here. Thank you, Henry.
Do you have any more questions before I go?
Not this time, but maybe we'll have to bring you guys back again for another episode to be continued.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
old versus the new.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We could have old versus new.
Yeah, right. I'm still old school.
OG versus new G.
Yeah, Okay, bye guys.
Love you, Dad. Drive
See ya.
safe. It's excellent. So.
All right.
And there you have it, another high-octane episode of the Ride and Style podcast. Revved up and ready to go. Your hosts, Jesse Stoddard and Josh Polson, shifted your automotive game into overdrive. If you're hungry for more insights, trends, and game-changing interviews from the automotive restyling universe, don't forget to hit subscribe and leave a glowing review. We'd also love for you to share this podcast with your gearheads, installers, and auto lovers network. Because remember, knowledge is power, but shared knowledge turbocharges the whole industry. For more expert resources to supercharge your business, cruise on over to autostylemarketing.com, your one-stop shop for everything automotive marketing. Until next time, keep those wheels spinning and your passion ignited. Thank you for riding in style with us. See you on the next lap.